Hey everyone. Wow, it's been such a long time since I've spoken to you. To those people that have been kind enough to subscribe to my channel, I thank you so very much. And sorry I have been so slacko McSlack. Certainly not because I lost interest. Life has just been very, very busy. I know that sounds a little bit lame because everybody's life is very busy. But for myself, I've been juggling work with, I have two beautiful elderly parents who respectively have been a little unwell. And also, on a much brighter note, I've had some visitors from interstate, and a very dear friend of mine came out from the USA, and it was a very spur-of-the-moment decision on his part. And would you believe, my friend that happened to come from interstate, she lives a few states away, so it's quite a distance. Well, she has not seen our friend from the US since 1988. So I organized a surprise where he knew she was going to be here, but she did not know he was going to be here. So it was just fantastic in every way, shape and form. I'm sure you can imagine the stories and the laughter and the reminiscing. We were able to spend a good 10 days together, the three of us. So there were reunions all over the place, actually. With other friends of mine, we realized that the four of us had not been in the same room for 25 years. A lot of this has to do with all the retrograde planets. I'm so sorry, my voice is a little croaky. It's actually first thing in the morning, not night. And I thought I would do this little video to say hello and to reconnect to you, because I've tried twice, by the way, and life is moving so fast at the moment that I felt that I was rambling at such a speed verbally that it just became a blancmange. And I thought I'm going to do just a little hello and reach out at a pace where at least the English-speaking folk will be able to understand what on earth I am talking about. So yes, life is wonderful and amazing and heartwarming and tiring and confusing. I'm just wondering how you are all going, because the example I gave you with regards to my friends has a lot to do with astrology, I believe, as we have been dealing with quite a season of retrograde planets. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not, but it just means that when a planet turns retrograde, it actually appears to be turning in reverse on its axis if you were to gaze at that planet from Earth via a telescope. In other words, the planet doesn't literally turn backwards. It just appears that way due to the position of Earth and that particular planet around the sun. It means for us as humans that the normal forward energy, the planets are shooting energy out and we absorb that energy. We are affected by that energy, and it's a forward motion energy, whether it's fabulous or tricky. And so when they turn retrograde, the energy goes within, the energy goes inward within ourself. And so things like the past come back for healing or clarification, or just simply to give us some time to reflect and readjust, reassess, perhaps reevaluate, depending on the planet. So last month, we actually had 5 planets retrograde. 5 planets at once is quite a lot. That's half the universe, you might say. So we had Jupiter, Pluto, Mars, Mercury, Saturn. Some big players there. And all in all, without making this too long, they all have their personal agenda with us. Mercury is going to turn direct within the next couple of days, or in a couple of days. And Jupiter turned direct on the 9th of May. So we're starting to come out of it, but there have been a lot of karmic ramifications coming through, and that's why I do believe, as an example, my friends who hadn't seen each other for quite some time were able to reconnect. So you may find yourself running into somebody that you haven't seen. It could be an old lover, it could be a friend, it could be somebody that you worked with, and maybe you just needed to tie up a few loose ends within your relationship, or what the relationship was. You might need closure, as an example. I'd be really interested to see how you are going in that regard. Also, there are a lot of karmic relationships coming up at the moment for the very same reason. And that can mean that, again, you may reconnect with somebody from your past, or you may meet someone new, but you know you have been with them in the past. And I can honestly say that has happened to me. I met a person who actually contacted me with regards to astrology, just to gain some mentoring. And as soon as we met, I looked into his eyes, and there was that knowingness, that knowing that you've been together before, you know each other. So that has that has played a part as to why I've sort of been off YouTube for a little while, just enjoying and exploring and getting to know myself again through this person as I get to know this person. It's just been quite an incredible ride, quite a roller coaster ride, and it hasn't always been easy, but I'm doing a lot of work with regards to self-examination and exploration, self-care and self-awareness, in order to get to the bottom of why I met this particular person and what on earth I'm supposed to do with it. I'm not sure how else to describe it, but he's a really beautiful person, and we have our respective spiritual paths. However, our circumstances, our lives are very, very different, and we have a very strong heart connection. However, I feel that it's more about unfinished business, and we are just here to, it's very pleasant, we get on very well, but I mean, I feel that it's not supposed to be a long-term engagement, perhaps. It's strange. I feel we will be in each other's lives for a long time, but we're not to be living, we're not to be glued at the hip, if that makes any sense to you all. So that's just one example of a karmic connection. They do come in all shapes and sizes, depending on, obviously, your natal chart and your circumstances. So at this time, if you are continuing your journey work, your shadow work, it's highly, highly, highly apt, because we still have Saturn, the karmic planet, will remain retrograde until August. And Mars, the planet of action and passion, will remain retrograde until the 29th of June. And Pluto, the big guy, who delves deep, 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 deep into your psyche and into your emotional realm, and through the goodness of his heart will drag up all the gunk and the muck and all the stuff that you are unaware of or don't want to face. I know, he's a great guy, and he's bringing all of that up to show you what you need to release. And in order to release that, you have to feel that. So if you are feeling some intense feelings, or your desires are coming up in such a way that they're almost kind of slapping you across the cheek with a wet fish, you'll know that's compliments of Pluto. Again, I'd love to hear how you are going at the moment. Now, before I wrap up my little hello, thank you so much for connecting with me. Here is my way of opening my heart to connect with you. This weekend, right? It's Saturday morning here in Australia, and we're all, I don't know if you saw the moon last night. It wasn't totally full yet, but oh my goodness, it was amazing. This weekend is a very powerful weekend because we have a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius, which is fire, and that full moon is going to join Mars in Sagittarius, which is fire. And not only that, Mars is turning backwards, so there's a lot of inward energy. But of course, the full moon is culmination in that fire sign. And not only that, it's an interesting phenomena because the full moon is at 1 degree Sagittarius, which means the next full moon will also be in Sagittarius. So you know how full moon is about shining a light, bringing something to the light. You plant the seed at the new moon and the end result is at the full moon. Because there's 2 full moons in Sagittarius, it's almost like we'll get part A at the end of this month and part B, the final completion, at the end of next month. So you may just like to write that in your diary so you can kind of prepare. So in other words, things will come to culmination, as I said. They'll be up for release and there'll be some aha moments, but you might still find that there's a bit of a grey area. And just know that that will come through in around a month from now. Or at least, you know, the early stages of stage B will come at the end of next month. The full moon's very, very powerful, 4 days either side. So don't worry if you don't feel it right on the weekend. It may be early next week. But the thing is, it's a very intense theme this month. So do take care. There's a lot of fire. And of course, with regards to retrograde planets, you know, there's, again, a lot of karmic action. There's... there could be strains within relationships and even within yourself because of the retrograde action. It's saying, hey, this is inside. So I would say if you are having some words with people that you love, for some it will be beautiful, amazing passion, and others it could be cross words and frustrations, and it comes out of a sense of perhaps your own loneliness, isolation, or even paranoia, because that's all Saturn stuff. Again, Pluto is all about deep-seated emotions and anger, frustration, but also personal transformation. And I think this full moon, it's just trying to trigger some of those issues that need to die. That's all. You know, parts of yourself that need to die in order to transform and rise above the ashes unscathed, as does the beautiful Scorpio Phoenix. So to put this in English, my friends, it's going to be a tense weekend for some, so be careful, choose your words carefully, and do remember, again, if your partner is really annoying, or if you find something comes out and someone has deceived you, just be careful with regards to the way that you deal with it, because if you step into your wisdom, go through your journals, you will see that there is mirroring going on. It's very karmic, and so if you can push aside the ego and the conscious hurt, move beyond that when you're ready, you'll get a lot of answers as to almost like what is swimming way beneath the surface within yourself. I hope that makes sense to you. So in other words, if someone deceives you, it doesn't mean you're going to deceive them. But look below, maybe you were deceiving yourself, you know, along the lines of the relationship anyway. If someone is very scattered with their energy, maybe your energy is mutable at the moment. So you mightn't be totally scattered, but if you look beyond, you know, the ego getting all huffy and upset, you might realize, my goodness, I have been oscillating between this option and that option. I'm not sure what I want to do. And, you know, this person has come along to show me that I am jumping from, you know, A to Z and back quite rapidly, which is unlike myself. And I need to go into the woods and ground myself again. It's that kind of stuff. So that's just an example. What else did I want to share with you before I leave? I think that's it. I just wanted to point out that, you know, planet Mercury that rules communication and siblings and aunts and uncles, short trips, anything to do with communication and documents. So he has been retrograde for 3 weeks and he's about to turn direct. But there is a sticky time when a planet has been turning backwards and then it pulls up into what we call stationary direct. So it appears to be still and stop spinning. And that's when my phone and laptop start getting a little bit tricky. If they want to have a huffy day, it's going to be when Mercury is stationary. So if I say to you in 2 days Mercury is due to go direct, I always give it 2 extra days for stationary, and then again things will come easier and communication will be smoother. And I say this to you because if we're going to have a tricky weekend this weekend, do hold a lot of hope for clear communication as next week progresses, so you can move forward then. And perhaps, you know, if someone loses their temper or loses their cool or, you know, gets a little bit huffy over the weekend, just put it aside as best you can and resume, sorry, that is exactly Mercury retrograde. Resume clear communication next week, like start again, start afresh. If you can't address it this weekend, don't lose hope, that's for sure. Well, I think I should leave you in peace now, and I'm going to go and make myself a morning cup of coffee. But again, I'm catching up on all of your wonderful videos, and a big shout out to these amazing people. I don't know how you find the time, but I love you all. Oh my God, if I start naming channels, I'm going to forget someone and I'll be horrified. But I'll just say Kelly from The Truth in Story, beautiful Elle from Bohemian Moon Tarot, Ethany, Nobody's Here, Storytime Tea and Tarot, Quilfin. I know there's, oh my gosh, someone just went through my brain. I knew this was going to happen. Why did I start this? Oh, Elise from Wild Moon Tarot, Kelly Bear. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you. But anyway, I'm an avid fan. I always manage to squeeze in a view of your videos, even if I don't get around to posting my own. I have recorded a few, but to be honest, I thought they were rubbish. So I decided just to leave it at that, award myself the Slacko McSlack trophy and start afresh. So that's my karmic resolution. Okay, people, I'm stoked. Oh my God. This has been happening to me for 2 weeks, right? So when you have clients, it's quite a challenge to hold a succinct tarot session. My goodness me. This is Mercury retrograde. So obviously he's saying, Leander, pull the plug. You're starting to get boring. And I'll send you just lots of love. Wish you a wonderful weekend. All the best with the beautiful new moon tonight. And I look forward to speaking to you again real soon. Bye for now, everyone.